Security. We've got details of all these stories and many more coming up in the next 60 minutes. Remember, we're streaming live on Facebook. We're also live on your DSTV channel 279. You can join us with your views, comments and suggestions on any of our top stories this hour. Feel free to visit any of our social media pages on Facebook and on X.
We first begin with the fight against illegal mining, and government has tasked the regional security councils across the country to strictly enforce mining laws. This comes in the wake of multiple demands and suggestions by various groups for urgent action to be taken. The nation's own water company has urged all citizens to speak up against illegal mining. We have a comprehensive coverage of this developing story, plus the government's response. Let's start from the Labour front.
Organised Labour has handed government up till September 30 to deal with illegal mining or risk a nationwide strike. The workers want a total ban on all mining activities in the country.
Organised Labour is sounding the alarm over the destructive impact of illegal mining, known as galamsey, on the nation's water bodies. At a news conference in Accra, Secretary General of the Trade Union Congress, Joshua Ansah, highlighted the concerns of the Ghana Water Company has severely damaged water treatment plants across the country. He urged the government with swift action.
An order to halt to all forms of mining, that legal or illegal, in forest reserves and around water bodies. The deployment of the police and the military with full orders, and I want to repeat, with full orders to remove, destroy all mining equipment and other earth-moving equipment around river bodies and in the forest reserves. Established a special court to persecute the perpetrators of this horrible, heinous crime. Organised Labour will urgently embark on a series of demonstrations and a nationwide strike if government fails to address the concerns raised by end of the month, September 2024.
Additionally, Executive Secretary of CLOCSAC and Chairman of the Forum, Isaac Bampuado, condemned the involvement of political appointees and politicians in illegal mining activities.
This one, we are serious. You cross us, we'll roll over you, we'll crush you. This galamsey menace has not got any political color. It's ourselves, we the people, we are going to suffer.
Deputy Secretary General of the Ghana Federation of Labour, Ken Kumsin, also added his voice, calling for an immediate halt to galamsey.
President sworn an oath to protect our lives and protect all of us. Today, the call is that, President, you must live up to your constitutional obligation, a state of emergency, because this is an emergency.
Other unions, NAT, GAU and Local Government Workers Union, expressed grave concern about the impact of galamsey.
We are destroying their head. We are destroying this one. Now look at the other aspect of it. After destroying this one, then we ask the children when they come to school, so we give them one nutritious meal. Which meal can restore something that mercury has damaged? We are giving His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, up to the ending of this month. And believe you me, we are now between life and death. We refuse to die. We refuse to die. And whatever we can do for us and for the children yet unborn, every year, with the number that I've given you, 80,000 of them, we are not only fighting for ourselves, we are fighting for our children.
The fight is not just an economic fight, but it's also a social fight to save ourselves for today, and then save the crops that we grow for export, save the crops that we grow for consumption.
About MPP, it's not about the NDC, it's not about whoever comes to power. Yes, of course, you nominated me to be the MC, the DC, or take charge of a particular committee. Let me do my duty. I don't need that kind of political interference. Let's allow them to do their work.
The Media Coalition Against Galamsey is also making a similar demand, serving notice of demonstrations should government fail to deal with the menace. Judith Brown reports.
With each passing day, the devastation worsens. Lands degraded, forests razed, rivers polluted, aquatic life exterminated, miners exploited, and lives lost. The Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining is sounding the alarm, incensed by the government's inaction as the cancer spreads.
The president must declare a state of emergency over our water bodies and get the military to clear everyone found on the water bodies, i.e. mining on the water bodies is illegal. All planned and active mining concessions overlapping with river buffers should be abrogated, and all mining activities within 100 meters buffer of all rivers and streams should be halted immediately by the president. These demands will be reviewed in a fortnight, i.e. 2 weeks, to see what actions have been taken, and our next line of action will be communicated to the media.
Briefing the press, President of the Catholic Bishops' Conference, Most Reverend Matthew Jemfi, explained that Ghanaians can no longer tolerate the lip service of government in the fight against corruption.
We urge the government to prioritize the reclamation of destroyed lands and restoration of polluted water bodies. This process must involve the local communities led by our chiefs and be transparent to ensure the recovery of the environment. We recommend strongly a temporary moratorium on licensed community mining activities now.
Convener of the group, Kenneth Achibe, says the group will embark on a series of demonstrations and strikes if government does not act with urgency.
If we don't act now, we will start licking clay as water. So I think the president ought to hear it. That now we are resolute in our ask. So definitely there are going to be some demonstrations that are going to happen. There's a strike that is going to happen.
As the coalition cries foul, one question echoes. Will Ghana's leaders heed to the warning, or will the lure of gold sacrifice a nation's future? Judith Brown, TV3 News.
Let's run you through a summary of the demands made to government so far. First, declaration of a state of emergency, abrogation of concessions overlapping river buffers, abrogation of entry permits allowing access to globally significant biodiversity areas, repeal of the law allowing mining in forest reserves. Presidential candidates should publicly declare their total support for this crisis response. And we also have a response from government as well through the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. It says that government regional security councils mandated to intensify enforcement actions, and Minerals Commission should ramp up establishment of community mining schemes. So that's the response from government. Let's speak to Awula Sewa. She's co-founder and coordinator of environmental NGO Eco-Conscious Citizens Ghana. Awula, thank you so much for your time. Clearly, none of the demands, such as declaring a state of emergency, have been made so far and have not been accepted by government. How does this make you feel?
Well, it's disappointing. It's extremely disappointing. You've had so many voices. You've had the clergy, you've had civil society, you've had so many organizations, you've had the trade unions, you've had UTAG, name it, coming together to tell you only one thing: put the interest of Ghanaians first for once. Not party, because our party now is Ghana. Let's all come together and see what is best for Ghana. We know what is happening now. People are openly mining on river bodies. Why isn't there any arrest taking place? That is why we are saying declare a state of emergency. In addition, for heaven's sake, pause all small-scale mining and also get everybody out of our forest reserves, whether or not they have licenses. And also LI 2462, which allows for mining in forest reserves, including globally significant biodiversity areas, is perverse and should be repealed forthwith. Now, it's quite clear that the government is not at all interested in the welfare of Ghanaians. So it seems to me that the threatened strikes will become a reality, because we cannot wait till the end of September when we have already been told. They might as well have said, you know what, we're not prepared to do anything. We're not prepared to meet any of your demands. We'll just carry on poisoning Ghanaians. We'll just carry on poisoning Ghanaians because we are so excited about the gold rush. That's all we care about.
And I would like this as government response to it. Regional security councils mandated to intensify enforcement actions, while minerals commissions should ramp up establishments of community mining schemes. Is this enough?
Of course it's not. In fact, this is not dealing with the problem in any way. We have said to stop, to pause, ban community mining. You're going to ramp it up. What kind of, this is a slap in the face. This is a kick in the teeth. You are saying that you're not interested in anything. I haven't heard anything about the state of emergency. I haven't heard anything about pausing community mining. You're either going to increase it, vamp it. I haven't heard anything about repealing LI 2462. So what exactly are you saying? You're going to continue doing what you've been doing, which has led us to what people say is stage 4 cancer, increase in kidney disease, increase in cardiovascular disease, neurological disease, maternal deaths, deformed babies, poisoned waters, and we're still not seeing that we are facing a catastrophe, an existential threat. There's ecocide going on. We don't seem to care, and this is most disappointing.
Awola, thank you so much for your time. And Awola Sewa is co-founder of NGO Eco-Conscious Citizens Ghana.
Right, Portia. Meanwhile, Lands and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abu-Jinapor says government remains committed to dealing with illegal mining. He's been engaging senior journalists and editors here in Accra.
On behalf of the President and his government, make a firm commitment to the Ghanaian people that the government is absolutely committed to the fight against illegal small-scale mining. And that commitment is unshakable. We will continue with the efforts we are making and increase some of them when the need arises, and the situation will be reviewed periodically and regularly. And if there's a need to bring in additional measures, we will do so.
Meanwhile, the devastating effect of illegal mining, also known as galamsey, has been a topical issue across the country. In this explainer, my colleague Judith Brown highlights how mercury and cyanide from galamsey are poisoning our water bodies, causing birth defects, respiratory diseases, and a lifetime of suffering.
Clean gold, dirty secrets, a deadly legacy. Illegal mining, also known as galamsey, is indeed biting hard. The effects palpable in our communities and, most importantly, our water bodies. People are dying and children are being born deformed. But what really are the causal factors, and how is galamsey leading to these deformities? The answer lies with two highly toxic substances, cyanide and mercury. The toxic duo is used to cleanse gold, but at a high price. They contaminate waterways, poisoning communities. Cyanide is a highly toxic substance that can enter the body through inhalation, ingestion, or skin contact. Once inside, it rapidly binds to cells, disrupting the ability to use oxygen. This leads to rapid heart rate and breathing, dizziness and headaches. It also leads to nausea and vomiting, as well as seizures and even death. For mercury, the effects are even deadlier. When the neurotoxin enters the body, it accumulates in the brain, kidneys, and the liver, causing neurological damage like tremors, memory loss, and cognitive impairment, kidney damage and potential failure, and birth defects and developmental delays if exposed during pregnancy. It's a no doubt exposure to both cyanide and mercury can have devastating consequences, but in the end, the onus lies on government to find urgent solutions to the matter. Judith Brown, TV3 News.
This is your election command center. After years of repeatedly pursuing the presidency, seeking to have his name on the ballot paper, Alan Kyerematen may finally be able to see himself on the ballot paper after the Electoral Commission clears him to contest as an independent candidate after the commission scrutinizes his nomination forms. He will be partnering Kwame Osu-Danso, a lawyer and former musician. Noble Crosby Anand has the rest of the story.
11 so far, a lot more to go. 3 more candidates, including 2 independent candidates, Alan Kyerematen and Kofi Kranteng, have put their money where their mouth is and have taken yet another step towards actualizing their aim of occupying the highest office of the land as they filed their nominations. Beaming with confidence, the flag bearer of the NDP, Alhaji Frimpong Mensah, was optimistic about his chances of victory on December 7. Likewise, independent candidate Kofi Kranteng shared a similar confidence.
If we are voted into power, we'll be the party that is likely to put our nation on the path of stability.
We believe in what we are presenting to Ghana as an alternative to the failed systems that we have seen.
Then came Alan Kyerematen and his delegation, equally certain of their prospects in the upcoming December polls.
Ghanaians are looking for a president who will fight for the interests of Ghana and not for political parties. They are looking for a president who will unite the nation and not divide the nation. They are looking for a president who would establish a government of national unity, a truly representative government, a government for the people, of the people, and by the people. With my record outside government, within government, locally and internationally, in all humility, I believe that I fit that bill.
Kyerematen also took the opportunity to announce his choice for a running mate. Former musician Kwame Danso, who was part of music group Echo and now a legal practitioner, will be his running mate.
I've lived up to my commitments. I said I was going to deliver to you a young person to be my vice presidential nominee. I've done so by nominating a very fine gentleman, a lawyer by profession, a political activist, a broadcast journalist, and someone who has been fighting for you, the young people, by name of Kwame Osu-Danso.
Meanwhile, the NDC flag bearer has expressed worry over the lack of a dedicated funding for government's health infrastructure project Agenda 111. With an initial number of 88 and later changed to 111, the government is rolling out these hospitals in all districts to make healthcare accessible. Now, speaking to journalists in Sunyani of the Bono region, John Mahama is casting doubt over the completion of even 10 out of the number at the end of the tenure.
I don't know how they went about the whole thing. And Empo Nyame say, you know, we started so many projects at the same time. We need dedicated funding for. Nyabebane say, at the end of their term, no, they will leave a lot of uncompleted hospital projects because Mehu Bebrea contracted any site. Omo Buaso, Oma Plaster. No windows yet, no doors, no equipment, nothing. And there's no dedicated funding at Omode, a government of Ghana. But Makase, we're not going to stop any projects. We'll continue. Project Bia, course, we'll let them continue. But we have to create the fiscal space. Senebeya, Ibetimi, Afande, na Ometimi, Ewie. By the end of their term, in they say, Ombewie, even 10 and now 15.
The NCCE says it is strengthening sensitizations of communities to promote transparency during the elections and sustain the peace and stability of the country. Ikuafurua reports that the NCCE is also cautioning political parties against the use of threatening and foul languages to intimidate opponents during elections.
It is said that a wrong choice of words can shipwreck an electoral process, which could possibly lead to violence affecting communities, especially women and children. According to the Greater Accra Regional Director of the National Commission for Civic Education, NCCE, Frederick Mauli Agbenu, strategic measures have been put in place by the NCCE to engage members of political parties and various communities about indecent rhetorics that could incite political violence.
We are doing a lot of education, especially for first-time voters in schools and in other areas, to make sure that they are inexperienced and they are people who are very technology savvy. And therefore, we are advising them that any information that comes into your device, make sure you fact check before you spread it. Any information that you come across, ask yourself this question: is it true? Is it going to bring about peace, or is it going to bring about a conflict? If it's going to do any of this, then you have to suppress that information before you spread it.
He further emphasized that these transitional times are often wrought with competitive language and rising tensions. Hence, the crucial role journalists have to play to help prevent conflict while contributing to a free, fair elections.
All these things in an election year can actually lead to a combustion, and we can have a serious conflagration on our hands, because when it comes to fake news, for instance, people might believe what is not and may decide to take actions.
Hate speech that is intended to incite hostility, discrimination, or violence falls under the type of expression that international law mandates must be restricted. Therefore, a key factor when dealing with hate speech cases is a requirement for there to have been an intention to incite action that is violent. Ekia Ofriwadakon, TV3 News, Accra.
So watching News 360, our major news bulletin for the day. Now, civil society organizations have launched a monitoring mission to track expenditures, abuse of state resources, and vote buying in the 2024 presidential elections. The project will collaborate with the Office of the Special Prosecutor to ensure that state assets are not used for personal interest.
The CSOs, comprising Ghana Integrity Initiative, Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition, the Center for Democratic Development, CDD Ghana, and partners noted the problem of the rising cost of party and campaign financing has gotten worse over the last 3 decades as the quality of governance has deteriorated. The group is embarking on a project to monitor campaign spending, abuse of incumbency, and vote buying for comprehensive party and campaign financing reform in Ghana.
We need to have reforms, and those reforms should speak specifically to certain sanctions that apply to people who use public platforms to campaign for themselves. This happens. We see DCEs standing on commissioning grounds to say, you see the way the president has done very well. Immediately the person says that the person has used the political party, the public platform to execute political agenda, and so we are able to say this is a clear instance of abuse of incumbency.
CDD Ghana 2021 report revealed that the cost of contesting a parliamentary seat from aspiring to candidate is estimated at $693,000, and a presidential candidate is estimated to spend $100 million as of 2021. Senior election specialist at International Foundation for Electoral Systems, IFES Ghana, Gilbert Sam, called for a comprehensive reform of party and campaign financing regime.
We think that if we go that way, then our democracy is becoming exclusive for some class of people, and we think that is not democracy. Because if a woman or a young person cannot raise certain amount of money, that means that the person cannot participate in our electoral process and win election and become part of our decision-making process.
The project aims to generate empirical evidence and data on the incidence of campaign financing activities, increase public awareness of the role of money in elections and the current campaign finance regime by collaborating with law enforcement agencies.
In more news tonight, the general manager of Onua Group, a subsidiary of Media General Stephen Shandov, has assured Ghanaians and net global viewers of a comprehensive election news coverage as the country gears up for the December 7 elections. Making these remarks at the launch of the Onua Election Command Center, he called on all stakeholders of the Onua Group to deepen collaborations to help ensure a smooth democratic transition before and after the elections. A report by Ikia Ofuruwadako.
Issues such as misinformation during elections, prophecies which trigger conflict, and other election malpractices were topical when goodwill messages were shared to outdoor the programs scheduled to run the Onua Election Command Center.
Religious interference, where some pastors now may prophesy. Now, if somebody's belief in his pastor is so high, and then he prophesies that his candidate is going to win, he doesn't win. You know the sort of problem that can bring to us, the Electoral Commission, to the whole country. And therefore, our advice is that let us fact check, let us ensure that information that we send out into the public is the right information.
A representative from the Ga Traditional Council, Nia Dublefo, commended Media General for its electoral preparedness for media coverage. However, he reiterated the need for all citizens to dissociate themselves from electoral violence, especially in hotspot locations during elections.
I will urge everybody during the election, just go, vote, and just go home. Your duty is to vote. Choose whoever you want to vote for. When you finish, please just go home.
The general manager of Onua Group, a subsidiary of Media General, Stephen Shandov, emphasized that the Onua Election Command Center has created credible news platforms to promote transparent, inclusive, and free and fair elections.
So we think about the masses, and we are the mouthpiece of the masses. So, per requirement, we need to provide this public service to them, providing them comprehensive and established coverage.
The Onua election coverage, dubbed Abatoɔ Asoye, seeks to exhibit responsible practice of professional journalism to promote democracy and respect of pluralism. Ekufri Wadakon, TV3 News, Accra.
Legal practitioner Efua Gate is promising a united Ghana Bar Association after being elected as a professional body's first female president. She beat off competition from Agbesi Jakpasu in her third bid for the presidency. She assured lawyers of her commitment to improving the fortunes of the association.
The bar has spoken. And from this day forward, it is a united bar in service. No divisions, no factions, it is over. It is time that we put our shoulders to the plow and work to deliver what we believe should be the bar in progress. This indeed is something new, something novel, that the bar, for the first time, has entrusted leadership to the ladies. And I know that with God's help, we shall make you proud. We shall serve you with all our ability. And we shall make sure that you will never, never regret this choice.
Reminders to watching News 360. We're going to go for a short break. When we return, we've got the very latest in the world of business.
You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior. You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
I love President Charcoal. Why? When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste. That's both charcoal and lemon. Oh, does it? Yes. Look right here.
Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has two of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With the power of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally.
Convinced?
Well, I am. Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent smiles. For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal. Pepsodent.
Prophecy time.
Abraham and Sarah, Mubanya twins. Go and buy jacket. You are going to Canada.
Hallelujah.
The best outboard, Wamba. Master. What the card do? You go to jail. But I'm wow. What you need? Because of my pa. Business is bread, school fees, chop money. Funeral bills, suppliers, in-laws, side chicks. Oh yes, I book count. Oh how na spiritual. For bills. Bills micro credit. You see why? Bills micro credit. From Mbebwa. Ati. Kwana from. Next.
Everyone is running to Bills. Enjoy the peace of mind that comes with acquiring any of our loan facilities. For whoever you are and whatever you're doing, Bills has a product for you. No susu, no deposits. All you need is your Ghana card. Bills, financing your needs.
Hello, Bills.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, Soft Care always stays with you.
New Soft Care Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
Soft Care. Protect your leap.
In a fast-paced daily life, we all need to breathe a little. Day by Day Women's Skincare enhances your skin with long-lasting effects thanks to their active cosmetic ingredients. It is time for yourself. Discover the new Day by Day Women Body Lotion range.
Pascal's showing his boss the efficient new technology they've installed. She is pleased. But now she's asking, why is that still there? Pascal explains that the wells can store many, many messages. The boss is not so pleased anymore. If you haven't upgraded your contact center yet, it's time to get business done better with MTN Business.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN
and Napa Foods, Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil,
West Hills Ridge Property, Eden Heights.
Michael Obudu is here with the latest in the world of business. And Michael, inflation rate drops again.
Yes, a marginal decline. Oh. The details now. Hello there, good evening. Welcome to the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obudu. Now, Ghana's inflation rate unexpectedly slowed to a 29-month low in August, raising expectations of a potential interest rate cut by the Bank of Ghana. Consumer prices rose by 20.4% in August, down from 20.9% in July, according to the Ghana Statistical Service.
This marks the 5th consecutive month of easing inflation. Government statistician Professor Samuel Kobna-Enim noted that the decline was partly due to a decrease in food prices.
We continue to see a reversal in the dominance of food inflation. As for a second consistent time, we're seeing that non-food inflation is higher than food inflation, in this case by 2.4 percentage points.
Inflation for locally produced items fell to 22.2% in August from 23.3% in July. For imported items, however, inflation increased to 16.1% in August from 15.6% in July.
We continue to see the dominance of locally produced items as it recorded a relatively higher inflation compared to imported items. However, from a trend perspective, we continue to see a decline in inflation for locally produced items, while we see a marginal increase in inflation for imported items between July and August 2024.
While the inflation rate has been trending downward, it remains significantly higher than the central bank's medium-term target of 8%, with a margin of error of 2 percentage points. The Finance Ministry has previously stated that the country's inflation rate is expected to slow to 15% by the end of 2024. However, the recent slowdown could provide policymakers with the flexibility to cut key lending rate by the Bank of Ghana at its next announcement on September 30.
Now, the Ghana Employers Association is urging the government to prioritize economic revamp to boost tax revenue. At the 64th Annual General Meeting, Chief Executive Alex Frimpong stressed that the current business environment has severely impacted local organizations, pushing many to the brink of collapse.
When the environment improves, all of us are going to benefit. If it takes a dive, all of us are going to suffer. So we need to work hand in hand to make sure that we improve our environment. If the economy thrives and grows, government is going to reap a lot of money through taxes. Employees are going to get jobs to do. The consumers are going to be happy, and ultimately we'll have an improved living environment. If the macroeconomic environment improves, all of us are going to benefit from it.
Co-chair of the Ghana Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, Dr. Steve Mantea, warns production in Ghana's oil industry could grind to a halt in the next 15 years. This comes on the back of consistent declines in production over the past 4 years, which has been attributed to the industry's inability to attract the needed investments.
The consistent decline in production in the oil and gas sector over the years have become worrisome. PIAC's 2022-2023 report revealed a decline in crude oil production for the fourth consecutive year, from 71.44 million barrels in 2019 to 48.25 million barrels in 2023. For Dr. Steve Mantea, this is a result of poor quality data, small block sizes and the capricious manner in which fiscal policies are imposed on the sector.
If we do not add to the reserves, my fear is that in the next 15 to 20 years or so, our oil industry will grind to a halt. Some have said that they sometimes will plan their financials. They go to bed, they wake up in the morning, and the government has read the budget, imposing 1% development levy, which is not recoverable. When things like this happen, they will sometimes flout their stability agreements. We may need to increase the sizes of the blocks to be competitive. We may need to invest a bit more in data collection, and we need to also be a bit more pragmatic.
Meanwhile, reacting to the proposed merger between Ghana's energy sector entities, he noted a clear business case could be made.
If we can trust our government to act in the best interest of the state, then I would say there is clearly a business case to be made for the merger of the energy sector entities.
Now, as the world shifts towards greener energy sources, the Association of Oil Marketing Companies has urged Africa to focus on hydrocarbons in the interim, citing their availability and reliability. Chief Executive Dr. River Singapore clarified that while they are not opposed to renewable energy, they believe Africa should maximize the benefits of its natural resources before fully transitioning to renewables.
As Africa, not only in Ghana, we need to make sure that we have a source of fuel that is available all time, that is accessible and that's affordable. Because most of the times I receive calls from TV3 and all of you asking why is the price of fuel going up. Price of fuel will go up as long as we import crude oil products in the country whilst exporting our crude oil that we produce here. Should we have refined our crude oil in-house, in terms of Ghana, we could have a much more cheaper source of fuel for transportation. At the same time, let me also mention that we are not against the transitioning of crude oil into much more cleaner source of fuel, meaning the electricity. It will happen But when it will happen, Michael, you and I don't know, because it is a matter of time, it is a matter of policy accepting it. At the same time, this sort of energy should be available, accessible and affordable.
And that'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Up next is sports.
See, Massa, I have told you to use Kojak quality oral care products like the Kojak charcoal toothpaste for strong teeth. Give me the meat.
Sis, that guy.
Ajay, my teeth.
Sis, haven't you heard of Kojak P&F toothpaste and their mouthwash? Right after here, get one for yourself. It helps fight sensitive teeth just like you're experiencing. Hey, sis.
Yes. Do not joke with your teeth because it may worry you in the future. Over the past 30 years that we introduced Procode onto the market, that has no competitor. We have again introduced Kojak Oral Care onto the market with the same high quality standard like Kojak Charcoal Toothpaste that makes your teeth whiter and stronger. Kojak Regular Fluoride Toothpaste that makes your teeth stronger, fights against toothache, and lathers well, leaving your mouth with an improved fresh taste and breath. If you have a sensitive teeth when you take something cold or hot, yours is to go for Kojak P and Kojak F together with the mouthwash. Go for Kojak Oral Care products because Kojak D it be quality keke.
This advert is FDA approved.
Playing for your country, easy. Scoring, easy. Avoiding injuries, easy. Winning, easy, Charlie. But you know what be easy now? Kibo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Easy. It gets everything inside. Gary, creamer, sugar, roasted granules. Just add water, then sharp my soakings make ready. Taste and energy, made easy. As I be street footballer, Gary at the top. Now we are 10 star boy. Still Gary at the top. I travel go abroad. Kibo Gary at the top. Kibo Gary. He the bio. I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kibo 4-in-1 Gary mix. Champion taste.
This advert is FDA approved.
Colgate Herbal is formulated from unique natural herbs to strengthen teeth and keep gums healthy. Try Colgate Herbal, scientifically proven for strong teeth and healthy gums. This advert is FDA approved.
Wine, not for fun about another demo. What ya Kevin Crowley? Or didn't say woman, and what just see her.
Child said they would change you when you know, where they obey. Tilapia and order for 440 Ghana, the Bibla.
Making money shouldn't be this hard. Just reload and win cash in the Telecel More Money promo. Win daily and weekly when you reload your mobile and broadband bundles. You can win up to 30,000 Ghana cedis weekly or the 1 million Ghana cedi grand prize. The more you reload, the better your chances of winning in Telecel More Money promo. Dial star 500 hash or opt in on the Telecel Play app for free. Telecel, connecting energies. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Time now for the very latest in the world of sports. My brother joins me. What do you have coming up?
Well, a nation without a home field. That is what Ghana is now.
The GFA has responded, haven't they?
Well, they haven't. They've only, urged the government to make the conditions better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cherry more.
Good evening. It's time for sports here on News 360. My name is Kelvin Owusu-Antan. Ghana faces a crisis as poor stadium conditions may force her to play home matches abroad. The situation stemming from a CAF ban of the Baba Yara Stadium highlights concerns about the country's ability to maintain sports infrastructure despite substantial investments. There is more in this report.
A letter to the Ghana Football Association says it is banning the Baba Yara Sports Stadium because of poor playing surface and other technical infractions. It also said there were similar problems with other stadiums in Ghana, including the Accra Sports Stadium and the Cape Coast Stadium.
If I were the president of the country, what I would have done was to summon all the leadership of sports in this country, because this is the first time we have suffered this embarrassment. I would have summoned the leadership of sports in this country and asked them that I have invested heavily in sports infrastructure in this country. What is the irony that the government that has invested so much in sports is the government that is overseeing the nation being withdrawn from playing category C matches at home? The fact that we don't have any standard sports infrastructure in the whole of Ghana's 238,000 kilometer square landmass, no proper first class or even category C. What may have accounted for that?
But how did Ghana get here, especially after recent investments into multiple sporting facilities? For instance, Ghana built 2 brand new stadiums in Sekondi and Tamale and rehabilitated the Elwak Sports Stadium at a cost of $77 million for the 2008 Nations Cup. That's according to the Ministry of Finance figures. Both are badly out of shape and unfit for any international match. The Accra and Kumasi Sports Stadia were rehabilitated at a cost of $86 million for the same tournament. They are not up to international standard now. Eager to boost the base of sporting facilities, the Cape Coast Sports Stadium was outdoored in May 2016. It cost the country $33.5 million. It hosted a number of AFCON and World Cup qualifiers, but is now deemed unfit to host any international match. Recently, Ghana spent $195 million on hosting the Africa Games. $34 million of that was spent on completing the University of Ghana Stadium. It seems that is also not up to standard for international matches. Meanwhile, the New Patriotic Party says it has built about 140 astroturfs across the country. In the period between 2006 up till now, Ghana has reached 4 World Cups and earned close to $100 million in appearance fees and sponsorship revenue. Despite all that and the huge investment in stadiums and pitches, Ghana now has to deal with the inglorious prospect of playing its home matches away from home.
This is an absolute nightmare and a messy situation. But I don't think anything is as messy as what it says about our maintenance culture as a country. As far back as 2008, we spent, I think then the figure quoted was about $25 million to build a stadium in Esipon. I think the same amount to build a stadium in Tamale. We spent quite a bit of money upgrading the Babara Stadium in Kumasi and upgrading the Accra Sports Stadium. In the period since then as well, we've built the Cape Coast Stadium. And in that period from 2008 up to the period where we've added up on all these stadiums, the stadiums have gone from stadiums hosting world-class international matches to stadiums unfit to host Nations Cup qualifiers. And we've arrived here because the maintenance culture has been poor.
Until the country finds a fix, parking back, paying for stadiums in other countries, denying Ghana fans the chance to see their own team play will become regular.
Well, football fans in Kumasi have expressed their displeasure with the National Sports Authority, who have been tasked with the management of the stadium.
Full D, your sports authority, I want share, full D so. And the since you see a board more, you try to see Brikua, about football. They will say, Park and Yanko Morocco, and they should have seen all this long ago. No more yes, and Sana, yeah, when you are the Ghana. Me say you problem.
We know me say you the National Sports Authority for now because all his come mojini ha no every year. Enya grow here na say deeper life for be year 1 million Ghana. 1 million Ghana 10 billion. And wo mo de buy and wo mo de be ha ye mu program. Etidi asiesie pa na wo ha 1 million Ghana no. Muntimi fansiesie.
Si normal bebre kwan. Fans football on Bono Kumasi, boy hotels. Omo mudija I sort of for your mamma no more tunton so the ray and banum kakra when we say a boy.
If CAF says we should not play the ball on the Babaya Sports Stadium, it is so because look, I have witnessed a man of God who came and preach on the field. They sat on the field, on the turf where they played football, where football is being played. That is where those chairs were raised, on the field. They took money from the man, and after the man left, they left it like that.
And I'm on the car outside in Zua. Shaka, so no man could no the car out, then I say your mind a car. Auntie, a best penny for saying, come on, shabby, be now one find no man 2 years, Nanka. You know, a bond, a mobile Kumasia. Now, they answer by a day.
There is more sports news on 3news.com/sports. My name is Kelvin Owusu-Ansah. Entertainment news comes up next.
The most comprehensive election coverage.
Top-notch presenters and well-versed analysts.
Dedicated reporters and correspondents in every nook and cranny across the country.
All the action, every incident reported. All the big stories covered.
All facts cross-checked. Every figure verified.
Every vote monitored and accounted for.
The numbers tallied, analyzed, and interpreted.
We have invested time and energy in order to bring you a comprehensive elections coverage.
The whole world will be watching us on TV, online, and radio.
Election Command Center. Facts, analysis, results. When the sun rises, there is hope. While this hope lingers on, the citizens look up to the government, the economy, the national development agenda, and everything in between.
On Ghana Tonight, it's our utmost priority to bring you insightful conversations on the economy, break down the biggest issues while setting the agenda for transformation and national development. The big and important stories are treated from the human interest angle, while the facts and the figures are painted with precision. So now, let's cut the convention and start the conversation here on Ghana Tonight. I am your host, Alfred Okamse.
Ghana Tonight shows Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. on TV3. Brought to you by
Flamingo Paint. Superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.
In more news tonight, all is set for the NDC's planned demonstration against the Electoral Commission on Tuesday, September 17. This follows an agreement by the Accra Regional Police Command on the route and termination of the demonstration. Leadership of the party assured the public of a violence-free protest.
Briefing the media, the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, Fifi Fiavikwete, said the demonstration against the EC is beyond the party. He stressed the country is heading towards a critical election and it is in everyone's interest to ensure that the voters' register is credible and trustworthy.
The election ahead of us is one that is about the very soul of our country. So effectively this demonstration, not even about India, it's about Ghana. So we expect every Ghanaian to be part of this demonstration across the regions of the country, because the very credibility of the register that we're going to be using to vote is going to literally determine whatever happens on election day.
After meeting the police high command, both the police and the leadership of the NDC drove to the EC head office to conclude on the termination point for the demonstration. He called on the general public to avail themselves for the protest.
The whole of Ghana, I know we all want the election to happen well and happen in peace, be fair, be transparent. And this is the moment to ensure that we press home those demands and ensure that we have a very credible, register, and ensure that what it is we are looking for that will bring about the transparency is done. So we expect Ghana as a whole to rally with us on 17th September in order for us to press home the demand, in order to have no doubt at all regarding the register that's going to be critically important for the transparency of the election ahead of us.
The NDC has assured that come 17th of this month, the demonstration will be very peaceful, and they charge their supporters not to foment violence or troubles during the day of the demonstration. This is a peaceful demonstration. They are calling to seek for a forensic audit of the voters' register. They want peace on the day of demonstration, and the police has also assured to provide full security so that at the end of the day, Ghana will win. Joseph Armstrong, Gold Alibo, TV3, Accra.
Remind us to watching News 360. We'll go for some sport of international news.
Millions of African children are without education as schools struggle to cope with the impact of armed conflict and insecurity. The Norwegian Refugee Council says as of June 2024, more than 14,300 schools were closed in 24 African countries. Countries with the most closures were Burkina Faso, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Cameroon, Chad, Nigeria and Niger. Aid agencies say the lack of instruction makes it easy for the armed groups to recruit children, disrupting their education and further decreasing their chances of ever attending classes. U.S. Vice President and Democratic candidate Kamala Harris and former President and Republican candidate Donald Trump have attended the same 9/11 memorial in Manhattan after a fiery debate, their first of the 2024 U.S. presidential election. Harris appeared alongside President Joe Biden, and Trump stood next to his running mate Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio. The two debated policy, but personal attacks also dominated the 90-minute event. Harris said people leave Trump rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom. He said people don't go to hers in the first place.
I encourage you to watch your screens right now and tell me, what do you see? You see a QR code. Kindly pick your smartphone and scan the code. It will take you to our exclusive WhatsApp channel for 3 News. And that's where you find everything news from us here on TV3. From our news code cards to videos and details of events as they happen. It's a 3 News channel on WhatsApp. Do well to scan and follow to get the very latest updates here on TV3. That's all for News 360. Thanks for watching. My name is Paa Kwesi Asare.
And I am Portia Gabor. Do join Alfredo Kansi at 10 p.m. for Ghana Tonight. Good evening.
Live in a community where your neighbors become family. And where family is love that awaits you on a daily basis. And where friendships bind us together in communal spirit. This is Eden Heights, a well-planned paradise with ready-to-move-in apartments and penthouses located behind the West Hills Mall, where living is a lifestyle. So, whatever your style, Eden Heights is the perfect place to live. For purchase or rental, call +233 50 153 1444 or +233 50 153 1445. Eden Heights, the height of modern living.